found a video showing how to create a stylized tree, and I was inspired to make one. I've attached the link to that video in the description. After watching it, I tried to recreate it using the same technique, but with some modifications to make it easier. We are using Blender 4.2. I recommend that you use Blender 4.2 as well to follow along with this video for the best results. There are several techniques you can use to create the base of a tree. In this video, I will be using 3 methods: creating the tree base with the skin modifier, the sapling tree gen add-in, and a node group from UitTree to generate procedural trees. The sapling tree gen add-in is available in the Blender extension, while UitTree Procedural is a product that you need to download separately. Unfortunately, the UitTree Procedural node group is paid. First, we will create a tree using the skin modifier. This method is quite simple. We can use tree references to make the result look more natural. We need edges for the skin modifier to work. Extrude as needed and adjust using Ctrl+A to control the mesh radius. I will speed up the video, and you can model it however you like. Next, we will use the sapling tree gen add-in. Once you've installed the add-in, we can create the tree by going to Add, Curve, Sapling Tree Gen. You can adjust the parameters through the panel. The method we are using doesn't require many branches, so keep it simple and only make what's necessary. Please note that the tree settings panel will no longer appear once we're done, so be careful. The next method is using a node group in geometry nodes to create a procedural tree from UitTree. The UitTree Procedural Tree Node Group is a collection of node groups in Blender's geometry nodes used for creating trees. This node group has evolved since its early versions. The advantage of this method is that after you've finished creating the tree, you can still modify its shape using the available parameters and generate many trees with different forms. I took quite a long time to create the tree I wanted, so feel free to watch or skip to the next part. We can also create a custom profile to make it look more organic. Simply add a mesh circle and edit it to be used as the trunk profile. Next, we will add leaves to the base of the tree we created. For trees using the skin modifier method, we can adjust the tree shape without applying the skin modifier. I made some adjustments to the skin modifier tree. We can make adjustments at any time. Select the tips of the branches where the leaves will be added. Press Ctrl+G to create a vertex group. For trees using the sapling treegen add method, we need to convert it to mesh, which was previously a curve. To add leaves, we need to select the branches where leaves will be added. By selecting the vertices on the branches where leaves will be added, and then create a vertex group. We can select the vertices at the tip of the branches and press Ctrl+G to add the vertex group. I deleted some branches because there were too many. As I mentioned earlier, we don't need too many branches. For the method using the UitTree node group, we can make selections in the geometry node editor. Here, I use the UT geometry output node group to select which branches will have leaves added. Connect geometry to join geometry, and the curve output from the selected branch to one of the curve sockets. After we add the skin modifier, the vertex we assigned to the vertex group will increase. To modify the tree shape without applying the modifier, we need to follow the steps shown in the video. Essentially, this method uses merge by distance so that the connected vertex group becomes a single vertex or point. This method can also be used in other techniques. Now we will move on to the main part. Add UT Stylized Leaves to the geometry node editor. You can use append or access it through the asset browser. Just connect it as shown in the video, enter the name of the vertex group we created in the distribution section, and the leaves will appear. The leaves will face the camera, so make sure you assign the camera you're using in the camera slot. Add sun lighting and adjust the light strength. We can adjust the leaf parameters through the geometry node editor. We can also copy and paste the node settings. Trees using the UitTree node group have a slightly different method. I created a new geometry node modifier for leaf distribution. We do this so that we can apply the modifier to the base tree. Sometimes, if we don't apply the modifier, it can become heavy when creating animations. We will use the selection made by UT geometry output instead of using a vertex group as seen in the video. We will input the attribute used in the UT Geometry output node into the distribution section of the UT Stylized Leaves node. We use the UT Stylized Shader node for the tree base material. The node group I created is quite simple, so if you want a better base tree material, you can use your own. For world lighting, I used a simple method, as you can see. You may have your own settings. Another important thing is that we changed the view transform to standard in the color management section. This is common when working with NPR style. We apply the leaf material in geometry node, so the material doesn't appear directly on the object. To adjust the leaf material, we can manually apply the leaf material to the object for easier editing. Trees using the UitTree node group must apply the material through the node group. When we try to animate the tree, we encounter an issue where the FPS while playing the animation is very low. After investigating, we found that there was something incorrect in the node configuration. We need to remove attributes in areas that are not necessary. We can adjust the animation in the animation panel of the node group. We can configure it by playing with the available parameters. We can also use the UT loop noise node to create loop animations. This node is still new, so there may be some quirks. It might be updated to work even better. Connect it to the offset socket and make sure the rotation speed is set to 0. To animate the tree, we can use the UT Simple Animation node. Here, I encountered another issue where the UT Loop Noise node does not work as I intended. There are several aspects I need to change. This node clearly needs improvement. When you get this node, there may have been some minor changes. I have added a switch to choose between 1D and 4D, so you don't need to make the changes I made in this video. Make sure to place the UT Simple animation after the UT Stylized Leaves. Another issue has arisen. The leaves do not animate rotation correctly and look quite strange. However, as usual, this can be fixed with a few adjustments. You can do it as shown in the video. The UT loop noise node is quite strange, so I decided not to use it for some animations. UT Simple Animation animates the tree in a simple way due to the limited attributes available. To animate the UitTree node group tree, we will use a different node, namely UT Animation. This node can animate the selected branches and also has different movements for a more natural result. We will animate the third branch, you can see how in the video. Basically, we will use the attribute from the third branch and apply it in the UT Animation node. This is a procedural tree. We can create different shapes by adjusting the available parameters. The feature you can use is to create a custom emitter. This is useful for shaping the base of the leaves according to your preferences. We can adjust it in the UT Stylized Leaves node. The base of the leaf material uses a leaf alpha image. We can easily replace it. I've provided several leaf options for you to choose from. If we already have the Stylized Vegetation Generator Library Volume 1, we can add particles and also customize particles like leaves. I'm using the default particle that looks like snow. We can also add snow effects on the leaves and trunk in the shader editor. If you notice any glitches on the leaves, try increasing the distance min, reducing the density factor, and adjusting the rot X bend parameter.